Hi everybody, what's up? Today I want to talk about the National Bio Bee. Some people have been asking about it, so I wanted to make a video on it. I wanted to explain today what the National Bio Bee is, how does it work, and how do you do it. Also some of our experiences from it and what we've learned. Um, Gabe and Chloe, my younger siblings, have did it with me, and they I'll enjoy it, and I do too. So I want to explain about it today. So, for people who are wondering, so the first thing I want to talk about is how does it work and how do you do it. So it's a summer study from I'll put the dates up here. I can't remember exactly the dates that you do it. Um, it's 8 weeks long, and you do this book during that time. It's a different book for this year. It's a different book each year and a different theme. This year's theme was worship. Um, and then you take a pre-qualifying test, and if you pass that, then you will qualify for the actual test. Then you, um, if you pass that test, there's like several thousand kids doing it, and if you get the highest grade at like the top 100 grade, and then you make it onto the game show that is televised, and then you will recite the verses that you memorized from the set verses they gave you. The judges will ask you a random verse passage, not just verse, it's multiple verses, um, to recite, and then you are graded. You get a score, sorry, based on how well you recited it, and then people with the highest, the single person out of the four people on that round, um, single person will move up the next level, and it keeps going until everybody else is eliminated. And then you get a cash prize if you win, and it is set into age groups. The competing years, you can do it when you're really young. You can get a book and study, but you can't. There's no competition for really little kids. The competing years are, I think, 7th through 10th, and then 11th through 14th, and then 15th through 18th. So that's a basic overview of what you do. There's a lot of memorizing involved in the Bible Bee. That is what the main mission of it is for kids to memorize the Bible, and um, that is their goal. It actually, what their motto is to know God's word and to make Him known. That is their motto, actually. So, I want to explain what next. I want to explain what you do during that summer study. So you do this book. It's set up so that you can do one unit a week, since it's 8 weeks. And there's 5 lessons in each unit, so you can do one lesson a day, and then you can take the weekends off and memorize verses, or you can memorize them during the week too. And then you can also recap during the weekends, and then you'll be set for that week, and then you do the next week, and then you take the test, and hopefully make it to the game show. The book work itself, I want to show you some of the stuff you'll be doing. So some of the book work will be like cross references that are a big thing in the test. For an example, a cross reference would be like verses that are similar, that talk about the same thing, or talk about each other. Like one of them references talks about another verse, and that will be a cross reference. This is, if you want to pause it, you can. Right here. That's a cross-reference, and then you have to remember those for the test, actually. And then you study those cross-references, and that's part of the bookwork. And also, you look at attributes of God, and that's part of it. I think that's part of it every single year. There is cross-references every single year. There are different little sections in each lesson that are different from year to year. So like this year we looked at prophecies of Jesus. Last year we looked at prophecies of Jesus, but because we studied Psalms, that were prophecies of Jesus that were in Psalms. And there's different types of things that you study each year. But one thing, though, is that you have a different study passage each unit, and you also have 2 different memory passages each unit. That's the same every year. The passages themselves are different each year, but the setup is the same for the passages and the memory verses. Because one thing I forgot to mention is that each lesson is 2 pages long, and there's a navigate side and explore page side. And the explore page is what's more important to the test, but the navigate is more like a devotional. So you have to do both if you're going to compete, but navigate's only is for people who just want to do the Bible is for like devotional purposes. They both have bookwork though, and they're both still important, but you want to still do both if you're serious enough if you're seriously considering competing. And one more thing is that you're also looking up Greek and Hebrew words. That's another thing in the bookwork that you do every single year. It's not just something for each year, since they change the theme up every single year. You do different types of lessons, this is still the same every year. You go to blueletterbible.com. I'll put a link in the description in case if you're wondering. It's a really great website for this. And then you would write here everything that you looked up for that word, because it gives you the word you're looking up, and then it gives you the place where you're looking for it and the verse, and then you look up that Greek or Hebrew word, Hebrew for the Old Testament and Greek for the New Testament, and then you write it down there, and that is part of the test. So that's about all for the bookwork. I do want to talk about the test now. The test involves Greek words. It also involves the cross-references I was talking about. And it will also have other bookwork. And it will have a lot of memory verses in it. So you have to really remember the verses. And you don't memorize, one thing I want to point out is you don't actually memorize your cross-references, but you have to remember what they're about. You just don't have to memorize them. So you have to really be careful and study everything, but it's very doable. So that's about all for the test, except though that the test is I think is 150 questions, and then it is an hour long, and then you are ranked, and then it'll give you a rank a few days after you take the test. There's a date that I think it might be a little different each year that you get the test results on, and then you know whether you made it in or not. So there's several thousand kids doing it, so you gotta really study if you're gonna win. But yeah, that's all for the test. The pre-qualifying test is basically the same thing, just way shrunken down, that I was talking about earlier. I think that's actually all I need to talk about. So I think that's all for the Bible Bee. We really enjoy doing it each year. I encourage you to do it too. It's very doable. So, hope you do it. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe. We'll talk to you in the next video. See you then.